In 1947, the Olympic Peninsula became the staging ground for a promising new technology. As rumors of its utopian creation spread, so did stories about overnight evacuations, unsolved disappearances, and unnatural encounters. In 1955, the government walled off a section of the peninsula to establish the Olympic Exclusion Zone. For 30 years, the zone's borders grew, until the government withdrew and sealed every access point. What happened inside was never disclosed. Okay, shipping manifest, delivery instructions, drive to the wall, turn left, stay on the roads. Sounds simple enough. Hi, I'm Slick, and I'm playing Pacific Drive. On this specific drive, I'm gonna have to get pretty close to the border of the exclusion zone. That'll be fine though, they sealed it up. It's not like I'm trying to get inside. So this game is about driving. You know, driving a car in the Pacific Northwest. It's nice out here. It's quiet. I wonder if we'll see a deer. It's starting to rain now. You know, driving in the rain can be kind of relaxing, but not when you're on the side of a mountain. Better slow down, it's getting kind of slippery. I should really slow down here. Jesus Christ, slow down! Slow down, we're gonna die! Pacific Drive is a survival game with extraction elements developed by Ironwood Studios and published by Kepler Interactive. It released in early 2024 to positive reviews and praise from critics, but also some online criticism towards its repetitive and difficult gameplay. Creative director Alexander Draycott came up with the concept while driving in the real-life Olympic Peninsula, which seems nice. So anyway, here we are in the fictional Olympic Peninsula, heading towards something they call the Olympic Exclusion Zone. Oh hey, this must be it. Warning! Yeah, this is definitely the place. Wow, so that means the zone is just on the other side of that wall. You'd think they'd make it taller, or have it emanate some kind of force field or something. This chain link and rusty metal combo they've got right now, I think I could climb that pretty easily, if I wanted to. Huh? What was that? Okay, anyway, I better keep driving. What is going on out here? What is that? You know what? I don't even want to think about it. Whoa, okay. I don't know if the wall is working well enough. I don't think reality is working. This is the last time I come up this way. Okay? Please don't scramble my atoms. Oh god, oh, what have I gotten myself into? What am I doing out here? This is definitely not worth whatever I'm gonna get paid. Oh, I'm almost there, just a little bit farther. What's that glow? You know what? Don't tell me. Oh good, it's gone. Okay, let's go. Oh, the car's dead. Oh my god! What the hell is happening? Oh!
If you want to, I can be there for you and pick up all of the...
This video contains some major story spoilers for Pacific Drive. Each time we go to cross a wall, the spoilers are gonna get worse, just remember that. Oh... Car keys, ignition, power steering... Floating rocks? So here we are, inside the Olympic Exclusion Zone, or just the zone for short. The zone is a massive area of the Olympic Peninsula where the laws of physics have kind of become closer to the suggestions of physics. As reality shifts and bends around you in impossible ways, you just never know what you're going to encounter in here. If you're familiar with Warhammer, it's a lot like the warp is opening up on the peninsula. Actually, a better analogy is like that movie Annihilation, with what they call the Shimmer. It's like some unseen force is just manipulating everything and trying to combine and alter things. There's bizarre seismic activity, radiation storms, even massive saw blades that come up out of the ground. Machinery and electronics just don't function properly in here, and everything inside the borders of the zone is generally just a scrambled mess. Why this is happening isn't exactly a secret either. It's all thanks to the research and experimentation done by the Advanced Resonance Development Authority, or ARDA for short. You see, in 1955, they developed a form of unlimited energy. They called it LimTech. Of course, they didn't realize at first, or maybe they did and they just didn't care, that the seemingly free energy wasn't just coming out of thin air. It was actually coming from the fabric of reality itself, which was causing some problems. Reports of strange things started, first eerie lights and strange noises in the middle of the night, but as things escalated, they walled off the entire northern end of the peninsula. It wasn't enough though. Rumors started to spread from those who lived near the wall about even more bizarre things and people disappearing. Then by 1961, the government made them all move out and they built a new wall farther out. And then they did the same thing a few years later in 1967, leaving us with this Wall Mario, Wall Rose, Wall Cena situation. ARDA actually continued to operate in there until 1981, when they just up and left, and they haven't been back since. I always thought when they left they would have sealed it up good and tight and made sure that whatever was going on behind those walls was going to stay in there forever, but I guess that's on me for putting that level of trust in the government. The anomalies are leaking out of the outer wall and they've pulled me inside, and apparently taken my car apart into its base components. Thankfully I was inside the car and it considered me a component to remove, and it didn't start taking me apart into my base components as well. Stupid tree. So how am I supposed to navigate a place like this? You know, what?
Someone out there? Whoa. Could have sworn
Oh hey, a car!
Never mind. Francis, the radar's acting up again. You were supposed to tune up this piece of junk years ago.
Okay, I guess we're not alone here. Did he say radar? We better get a move on before they triangulate me and come take me out. I hope I can get this thing started. Just gotta pop this wheel back on. Now, please start for me. Yeah, baby! Alright, let's get moving.
Wait, is that?
Oh, crap.
Yes, it's back. It's back. This is Tobias Barlow and Francis Cook, located in mid-zone sector B. Do you read me? I'm picking up your distress signal in the outer
Distress
zone.
signal?
It looks like you're somewhere around sector E.
Sector E?
Francis, come here. Yes, it's urgent. Leave that interferometer alone for a second. Something is out there.
Interferometer?
Hey, you're in serious danger. The instability's closing in, and it's gonna scramble you quicker than beef in a blender. Your closest shelter is a few miles east. Get there however you can, and be quick about it.
Well, that's not good. So it turns out the two guys on the radio aren't hunting me down. They're just, oh, wait, I'm out of gas. Hopefully I can scavenge resources that I need from this abandoned car. Foreshadowing. But yeah, those guys on the radio, they're just intrepid science nerds who chose to ignore the evacuation order so that they can continue their research. I respect it. Even though that research might destroy the whole planet and possibly even the entire universe someday, I always gotta give credit to the mad scientists out there. They're not doing this for a paycheck, they're just doing it for the love of the game. Plus, they've just given me the heads up that the pocket of reality I currently occupy is about to collapse and turn me inside out. Speaking of which, we need to go. It's happening right now. Okay, go. Drive. Come on, you hunk of junk, start. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Ooh, it's tingly. Ooh, it's warm. Oh, it does not feel good. Get me out of here.
Whoa, wait, hold the phone. There it is again, that blip on the spectrometer. I've seen that waveform before, but where?
There's no time for waveforms! The mad scientists argue about whether or not the car is something called a remnant.
Go on and let yourself in. Albie ain't gonna like you poking around in there, but better to face a bad side than let the zone eat you alive.
They guide us down the road to this garage, which has some equipment, or maybe magic, that can stabilize reality. I don't understand it, but it keeps me alive. This garage is going to be our home base until we can get out of here. It's not bad. Bit of a fixer-upper. There's nowhere to sleep, but hopefully we won't be here that long. Ah!
Shop. It's been breached. You've got 5 seconds to get the hell out before I... Ow! My head.
So that's Oppie, our third mad scientist, and the last character we're going to meet in the game. That's right, there's only 3 characters that we're going to meet throughout the entire game. There are more, but these are the only 2 we'll actively speak to. The rest are just recordings.
Now, we have it on very good authority that this person is in possession of a remnant, which has taken the form of a car, and, well,
Get off the remnant thing. She's not gonna care.
right, like I said, super officials own business. Protocol, demands that you keep them alive until we can get them to safety. Now, if you do not comply, I will occupy this broadcast channel with a recitation of the entire collection of poems I've personally written. That's 10 years and 17 volumes, and...
Don't let that voice goes like a nail gun to the skull. So, another breacher, huh? How do you outsiders not understand that Arda didn't build that 300-meter wall out there for fun? Unless you're one of the unfortunates who got zapped through. Wait, I just remembered. I don't give a damn why or how you got here. You're trespassing, and I'd kindly like you to get the hell out of my zone. Oh, God, unfortunately, the barrier wall is as fortified against breachers trying to get in as it is against anyone or anything trying to leave. We have to find you a way out. So you might as well start by fixing up that car. Just don't break anything in my shop with those soft hands of yours.
I guess they used to use this garage as a base, but they've moved on and abandoned it. Thankfully, it still has everything I need to work on the car. You know, all the normal garage stuff like tools, a workbench, paint supplies, a matter deconstructor to disassemble items into their base elements at a molecular level, a sewing machine. And there's just enough resources here to make some magic bondo and some single-use magical wrenches. There, that should keep it from falling off now. Then I outfit the car with some storage and a crafting table. And then the pièce de résistance, the arc device. This puppy is our ticket out of here. Here, I'll let Oppie explain.
This beauty won't just be your tour guide. It's your North Star and the only way back to safety. Heck, you should consider it the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit if you plan on staying alive. That's how important this thing will be to you.
So you guys do machine spirits here too, huh? Now that we're all geared up, it's time to head deeper into the zone. Because while we have all the tools we need in the garage, we've just used up all the materials that we had. So we've got to make some expeditions out there to get more scrap metal and tires. That leads us to the core gameplay loop. From here, we start making expeditions into other relatively stable parts of the zone. We explore the abandoned labs and homes of the people who used to live here, discover some secrets, we collect scrap and resources that we find, and then we exit to the garage so we can repair all the damage to the car and upgrade it so we can push further into the zone and collect even more scrap. You have to plan out your routes on this wall map. The further you push into the zone, the more stops you're going to have to pass through and survive. You get to scan ahead though in between to see what kind of hazards and conditions to expect, like increased car speed, advanced darkness, or even faster battery drain. Battery drain. Look, I get this is a video game, and that this is a resource that we can use to gamify things, but the rate that your battery drains is really annoying. If you aren't aware, in real life there's a car part called an alternator, and that takes the rotational force your engine is producing and uses it to charge your battery. So basically, if your car is running properly and there's nothing wrong with your alternator, your battery should never run out. By now, some of you are probably thinking, Slick, didn't you mention earlier that machines and electronics don't work properly in the zone because of how reality is always shifting? And how does something as complex as a combustion engine work out here anyway? And those are some good questions that I don't really have answers for yet. It might have something to do with the remnant thing the scientists were talking about, but who knows. You'll probably hear more about that later, though. For now, I'm just going to chalk it up to one of the zone's many anomalies. The zone has a number of reoccurring anomalies that act like the game's enemies and obstacles. A lot of them are mostly inert, like these floating stones or this electric... Oh god! Never mind. Not that one. Or at least they occur predictably enough to be easily avoided, like this electrical field, or this stuff. I think it's maybe a rogue machine spirit looking for a machine to inhabit, because if you drive through it, there's even some that you might call beneficial, like these speed stones. There's also many that almost seem to exhibit some sort of intelligence, like these floating masses of electronics that seem to seek out and attack light sources to remove them. Look at that passing plate. Or these little bastards. They're called broken bunnies, I guess because of how quickly they multiply. They try to attach themselves to your car to screw with the electronics. They remind me of those things from Half-Life 2. You know, those things that would stick themselves to your car to zap you? And then there's the mannequins. They call them tourists. Don't even get me started on the tourists. They're the worst kind of video game horror mannequins. They're the kind that appear out of nowhere. They move when you aren't looking. And they explode if you happen to bump into one. They make driving fast at night or in the fog a serious risk, because they tend to form these long lines across the road, like they're at the zone DMV or something. And most of the game does seem to happen at night or in the fog. This game also does a really bad job at explaining the specifics about a lot of the anomalies. See, like, look at this. How am I supposed to use this information? It's just telling a story. You basically just want to avoid everything you see. If it's not loot, stay the hell away from it. All of these anomalies on their own aren't that hard to avoid, but the fun really starts when your trunk is full of junk and it's time to head back to the garage. See, the most precious resource of all out here is found on these things. These are called anchors. They run off these energy balls, and they're what's holding these pockets of stability open. So naturally, we want to steal the battery balls and feed them to our car.
Those anchors may look like glowing balls of magic, but it's Limtech through and through. Don't be scared. They haven't exploded in anyone's face recently. The arc device is charged and ready. You'll use it to open a gateway back to the garage.
Shit, the car. I guess the journey ends here. We're gonna die out here now. I'm sorry to drag you into this with me. Nah, I'm just kidding. You can teleport the car within a couple of feet if you get stuck like that. Anyway, once you load the energy into your car, reality starts breaking down. Anomalies start spawning more often, and you can start planning your trip back to the garage. You have to select one of these map markers, and when you do, it's time to move. As soon as you select your exit, the reality bubble starts collapsing fast. Radiation levels spike. Anomalies start popping up all over the place. Ugh. Oh great, there goes the first ring, you see? So you get this like Fortnite Warzone storm that you gotta run away from. First a yellow circle that closes very fast, and it makes things much more hazardous. Followed by a red one which you really don't want to get caught in. The storm closes around these giant pillars of light that erupt from the ground, and we just gotta drive into one of them and hope we don't die. Ah! Oh, my head. How much did I drink last night? Was I driving?
Oh, well, well. You're alive. For certain, if the zone didn't get you, that gateway would.
Wait, what?
Did I not mention that you're the first human I've sent through that thing? I mean, there have been rodents, but it's not like it's completely untested. Anyway, it worked.
What? You had no idea if we were going to die? Well, that's just what you get when you work with mad scientists. Everyone's just a viable test subject in their eyes. Coincidentally, once we get the car ready again, our three friends on the radio ask to help with a test that they're running. I'm starting to see a pattern here. So, Tobias and Francis both think my car is something called a remnant, and Oppie, while skeptical, knows of a way to find out for sure. As we outfit the car for this trip, I guess it's time to explain exactly what a remnant is. Basically, a remnant is like a special kind of anomaly where the zone manifests a normal, mundane object with some really strange but intriguing properties. For example, some of the other confirmed remnants out there are a record player that plays voices from the listener's past, and a microwave that freezes things instead of warming them. The other key characteristic of a remnant is that they kind of latch on to whoever it is that finds them and form sort of a psychic link to the person. The person will become obsessed with the remnant and slowly become more and more insane. Much like the person who found one of the most notable remnants, a paint bucket that could paint whatever color the person needed. They ended up using it to paint all these murals around the zone, and whatever was depicted in the murals later eventually became true, including a mural that depicted Bigfoot. That's right, after she painted Bigfoot, Bigfoot started appearing in the zone. Anyway, after the paint bucket ran out, the person who found it ended up running out into the zone and was never heard from again. Everyone who has found a remnant so far has eventually disappeared out into the zone just like that. So now you see why it's so important to figure out whether or not this car is a remnant? Because it's our fate on the line here. This is why I need the mad scientist's help. Okay, so I should explain myself as well. I keep referring to the three on the radio as mad scientists, but I should clarify, they aren't mad scientists in the traditional Dr. Frankenstein, it's alive sort of sense. Or at least not all of them. Oppie is pretty close to that. Just a more modern version. But Tobias isn't even a scientist by trade. He was a janitor for Arda, and he chose to stay behind to hunt Bigfoot. However, in my eyes, I think Bigfoot hunters are their own genre of mad scientist.
A couple squatches running lollygagging up there, now they're moving down. Hopefully we run into a squatch tonight.
That would be neat. That would be luck.
I don't mean the kind that make those crappy TV shows. I mean the real Bigfoot hunters who sacrifice most of their lives just to maybe see a bit of fur and some poo.
Minnesota Bigfoot Research Team.
And then the third one, Francis, is yet another flavor of mad scientist. He's a bit more of the sniveling nerd Professor Frink from The Simpsons type of mad scientist.
Pi is exactly 3! Very sorry that it had to come to that, but...
He got caught falsifying research data and lost his job, and ended up staying in the zone because he had nowhere else to go. So we arrive at the junction for Oppie's experiment, and the three amigos start to tell us about the remnants.
Oh, you know what my favorite remnant was? The record player. You remember Francis? You play records normally, but then every now and then you hear weird voices. Like that one time it was my 5th grade lunch lady.
This again.
Yeah, I've already covered this. Let's skip ahead. So Tobias and Francis are already 100% sure that the car is a remnant.
Could the remnant's victims still be out there somewhere? I mean, we never heard from them again, but it doesn't mean they all died, right?
If the madness didn't kill them, then the zone did. Anyway, it's been 20 years since the last remnant sighting. We thought they were long gone.
Until you found the car.
You guys really are making me feel better about this. I mean, what the hell is that? Hey, just letting you know you're doomed and there's no hope. You're gonna die out here. That's a fact. I say, if there hasn't been a remnant in 20 years, then I think chances are pretty good that this is just a car, you know? Nothing fancy.
I wonder if you're already feeling the remnant's effects, driver. Have you been fixating on the car, maybe?
If only we knew where remnants came from. Then we'd have a place to start on how to help you.
This is no typical anomaly.
Right, yeah. The anomalies we know, they're creepy, crawly, and weird. like visible manifestations. The remnants were the only ones that wormed its way into your brain. There's something much, much more.
I'm honestly starting to prefer dealing with Oppie better. She guides me towards a special anomaly called Big Cappy. She says you can't miss it, and she is not kidding. Look at the radiation coming off of that thing.
Is there a reason you're driving straight towards the largest honking anomaly in the zone?
You wanted to know if there's a speck of remnant energy in that car? This is how you do it.
You're using Cappy to amplify the remnant signal. That's insane.
Huh, so I guess the plan is for me just to get close to the thing and hope for the best? See? Mad scientists, man. I worry a bit for our safety at this point, but the car has held out so far against the radiation. I think as long as we stay inside, we should be safe. God, I hate those things. Hopefully after this is through, we prove the car is not a remnant, they'll get bored of it, and then they're gonna just tell me how to get out of this hellhole. Okay, we're getting closer and the car is starting to act up.
Oh, no response. Maybe you need to get closer to Cappy's core way up there. Can you find a way to high ground?
Oh my god, okay, maybe if I go right underneath it first? Ah, damn mannequin. Alright, I don't think this is working. I guess we're gonna have to go up onto that bridge. It should be just up ahead now.
Car's still not close enough to Cappy.
What now?
How about, launching the car into Cappy's core?
I'm sorry. What?
It's simple. The driver jumps the car into the heart of the anomaly, and if I time it right, I'll open the gateway and extract them.
And if you don't?
I've run some calculations. I think it should be fine. Anyway, it's like they always say, what's an experiment without some risk of total annihilation?
Who says that exactly?
Mad scientists, that's who. Okay, let's get this over with. Here we go. Everything's charged, everything's ready. Let's push on. Alright, pardon me. Excuse me, pardon me, experiment to do. Coming through. Alright, let's do this. For the Emperor!
HEV activated. Automatic medical systems.
Oh, what happened? Where am I? Skyrim. Skyrim is a Bethesda game from 2011. It was, there was something about mead made with juniper berries? This isn't right. Hey, buddy, what's happening?
Hey, you.
Hey, wait, what's happening? Ooh! Oh, the garage! I made it! Wait, why do I feel cold?
Damn it, you piece of crap. Come back on already. Can you hear me? Cappy fried my transmission systems. Thought I lost you for a moment. Well, it all worked out, didn't it?
The gateway got you out, and it looks like the Arc device is still intact with all the data it's recorded from your drive. And my plan worked. Cappy amplified the car's signal and it matches. Looks like Tobias and Francis found their remnant after all. Unfortunately, what they've been saying is true. The remnants drive their victims mad. Maybe that car, having sat dormant for this long, will give you a little more time. Sorry, I don't have better news for you.
Okay, well, there's no need to panic. It's not over yet. As far as I know, nobody's ever left the zone with their remnant before. Maybe if we get out and get far enough away, the remnant won't have enough power left to kill us? I don't know. Either way, this is a pretty big time crunch, I think. I don't know how long it's going to be before we go insane. Maybe if you get this game, you'll want to take your time and explore every region, find all the audio logs and files, uncover all the secrets of the zone, but not me. I want to get out of here. And Mom says it's my turn. Let's get you some off-road tires. And some stripes. You look good in stripes. Wait, what? Alright, so my XLR cable just died, and I've had to switch to this headset. Hopefully the sound quality isn't too bad. Let's talk about the music. Being an independent game dev, Iron Horse Studios opted to use the music of independent artists to make the soundtrack. The songs are really good. It's a lot of great driving music. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check it out. You might find some new artists to follow.
Gaia softly turning, Luna never sleeping, Mama moonlight heavy with a belly of dreams that's almost falling.
Told me where to go. She told me where to go. She said she wouldn't marry, but she'll be mine. Until hell freezes over, I bide my time.
Eventually, we pass through the game's wall rows to enter the mid-zone. And it's mid. Actually, it's not. It's pretty wacky in here. Look at these weird things. Or this thing. And these assholes. Stop that. And here's a radiation storm where it's raining radioactive snot. And a bouncing snot ball. Whoa. And a snot volcano. We've really entered the snot zone here. Those off-road tires turned out to be the best upgrade so far. Now I can just barrel straight through the wilderness to save time. So we continue performing odd jobs in the zone for the scientists. We explore Arda's abandoned megastructures, and I even find some of the magic murals from the remnant bucket I mentioned earlier.
Did you see that, Francis? Oh boy, Francis!
Francis has a theory about these.
See that pattern in the last mural? That flower only grows above a certain elevation. Put the three locations together, and you've got a square mile in the northeast corner of the deep zone. Huh. The visions were pointing towards something the entire time.
Yeah, I think you might be reading into this a little bit too much, buddy. As we continue making these expeditions, we keep an eye out for resources and continue upgrading the car. Here I've built a windmill battery charger to help with the power problem, and also this device that charges the battery with the rain. Hey, wait a second. That right there is an alternator, so the devs do know what an alternator is. I guess you could just interpret this as subtly letting us know that they know? I don't know. You've probably noticed by now that there's some customization in the game. I really like this chain steering wheel and sword shifter. Makes me feel hardcore. And so far I've been sticking with racing stripes because everyone knows they make your car go faster, but not as fast as these flames I just found. I've also started adding some armored doors and panels, which require a resource called thermosap crystals. Actually, a lot of the next upgrades need these thermosap crystals. In some pretty big quantities too in some cases, like this limb shield, which is necessary for me to get through the next wall. I don't really know a good way to get these crystals yet, other than grinding down armored parts on the abandoned cars I find in the zone. But that's really slow and unreliable. You know what that means. More exploring. Hanging around dingy gas stations looking for crystal. It's the real American experience. Because of this scarcity, you kind of have to be a little bit strategic about outfitting at this point. You see, the armored parts are good against physical damage, and I do take a lot of physical damage barreling through the woods, but they do require that sweet, sweet crystal. So what I do is I put the armored parts that I can afford to build at the front of the vehicle. The parts that are bushwhacking the way for us. Radiation is also a frequent hazard, so the resistant lead-plated panels are my go-to choice for the rest of the wagon. I think the insulated parts look the coolest, but unfortunately they're probably the least useful because the electric hazards are pretty easy to avoid, and they don't do that much damage. Corrosion-resistant parts look like you've put actual garbage all over the wagon, so that's right out. Finally, I find us enough crystal to build us a bumper shield. This will allow us to take on the gauntlet required to get into the deep zone. Here, Oppie's plan is basically to have the car get zapped along this power grid as it powers up. I guess to remove excess static electricity or something? I don't really follow the logic, but I can follow instruction. The shield was needed so that we don't get zapped to death while we do this. As long as I can keep our speed up and the battery doesn't run out, we're gonna be fine. However, we do run into some problems on Tobias and Francis's end.
Getting some interference, Tobias. The power supply is wavering.
I'm working on it. A local battery farm's putting up a fuss. She hasn't been taxed like this in a while, but I'm easing her into it, don't worry.
Francis starts freaking out a little bit.
Battery farm 6 core's overloaded. I mean, it's shutting down. We can't lose the remnant. I won't let it go.
I guess he's a bit more of a math lab assistant than a mad scientist.
Get back inside! The radiation's peaking.
I've got to repair it. I'll be damned if I'm gonna let this plan fail. We're too close. Your theory, we can still prove it.
Stop! It's too dangerous out there! Tobias! Please, Tobias, come back!
He's kind of like the Igor to Tobias's Frankenstein. He isn't up for this kind of pressure. Not like the rest of us. Tobias decides to go out and fix things himself, and...
I'm at the battery farm. The fuse box is completely liquefied, but I can bypass it.
Francis, I need you back at the control board.
Not now, Oppie!
The minute Tobias reroutes that line, you need to push the connection. Miss it by a split second and we lose the entire power grid.
No. Almost ready.
Please don't do this!
Francis, it's now or never.
I'm rerouting the grid now. I'll be ready for you.
Francis, I love you forever.
I love you forever.
oh shit. Tobias got fried.
Power's back online. Francis, now!
Tobias, answer. Tobias, answering.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna answer you, Francis.
Don't do it. You can't go out there. Driver, the power's holding steady. You can open that final gate.
Damn, that was pretty dark for a game that's been fairly campy so far. Anyway, thanks to Tobias's brave sacrifice, we make it into the deep zone. The deep zone turns everything up to 11. There's these giant pillars of stone that sometimes drop pieces onto us. It's fucking dangerous here. The tourists here have melded together into these crazy megastructures. Everything just wants us dead. Oppie comes up with yet another harebrained scheme that requires us to drive right into another radioactive anomaly. Where did you get your degree again?
A few more to go.
However, at this point, I'm ready to accept my fate. Let's do this. All that's left is to make it through another one of these zap gauntlets, and we arrive.
Francis.
Yeah?
Thank you for trusting me when you had every reason not to. Getting to this point together with you, it makes me feel like my old self again.
It's been an honor to watch you work, Dr. Turner.
Yeah, and thanks for letting me live in the garage, too. Good lord. What is that? You want me to drive into that? Down there. In that.
These gamma readings, are they real? I can't even begin to guess what could be outputting this much radiation.
Some sort of energy reservoir, a massive fission reaction, or
a portal.
Atlantis.
Jesus, it's like the egg mass of a frog kaiju or something. Is that an egg?
If this thing really leads us to Atlantis, I'm turning in my PhD.
God, if only Tobias were here to see it.
I would have liked to hear his take on all of this. For once.
It looks like the fires of hell are coming out of the mouth of the thing. Well, I guess I can fight my way out of hell. Wouldn't be the first time.
All right, driver. You're almost to the threshold. Remember, Francis and I have got your back. Once you get that car to the well, we'll keep the gamma ray burst under control for as long as we can. Whatever happens, whatever state you find yourself in, the arc device will be your safety net. Use it. Get back to us, you hear me?
Ready when you are, driver.
So we drive straight into the mouth of this thing and...
It's opening. Godspeed, driver.
we find ourselves in this weird pocket dimension.
Did it work? What's the energy output? Damn it, Alan, I'm fine. Light nearly blinded me. Can you read it?
Yeah, let me see. 500 kilojoules? Happy, what is this?
The future. I call it limb waves.
It's full of old TVs. This place is like the back rooms for that guy in The Matrix.
Who are you? I am the architect.
As we walk, we can hear past conversations that took place in the zone.
Tobias, the movers are here. Wait, why aren't you packed?
I ain't going.
The evacuation orders...
Evacuation orders can go to hell. We leave, and we never see the inside of these walls again. All the things we've been investigating, the ripple, the echoes from the swamp, they'll all fade away. I'm gonna stay and chase down these stories, wherever they take me.
Tobias,
Stay here. With me.
Hey, we actually make radio contact with the outside.
Driver, do you read me?
Driver, you passed through some sort of opening. We managed to hold it steady, but the energy expulsion is growing. We don't have much longer.
If you can hear this, you need to get back now.
And with Tobias?
Hey, look! The gang's back together!
Tobias?
I never told you how grateful I was that you stayed behind in the zone. With me. These years, best of my life.
Hey, this really was a portal to hell. Or at least to the afterlife.
Hours and hours of terrible field recordings. Not a single moment wasted. Thank you. For everything.
It was all you. You made me feel capable. That anything was possible. That I wasn't some second-rate scientist. All my happiness was thanks to you. And I'm afraid of how I'll survive without you.
I'm not. You got this. You always have. Hey, Appy. Alan sends his regards. He wants to know why you haven't taken his advice yet.
Tobias gives Francis and ourselves some final encouraging words here.
Driver. Bye. Until next time.
Tobias? Tobias!
Driver, if you could hear this, we can't keep the well stable for much longer. Wherever you are, come back.
And the TVs give way to a road. And our car. Well, you've kept us safe so far, old girl. How about one more drive? Looks like we got a clear destination. Let's do this. I swear, when I get out of here, I'm going straight to McDonald's.
Just a little longer. Hold steady, Francis. Keep those limb bases aligned. Not even a .001.
Goddamn limb phases.
Trying.
It's okay, Francis. Wait, did that glowing rock just fall out of the sky? Oh, shit, yes it did. Alright, let's go. It's time to go. Oh boy, God. Oh God, don't crush me, don't crush me. Please don't crush me. Ooh. Am I safe? Did I make it? I'm in a cave at least. Oh! Oh shit. Hey, get the hell away from me.
Francis, hold tight. I can't. The phase, it's desyncing.
No, don't desync. I'm going. I'm punching. Oh, not again. Wait, what? I'm here? What happened? No, you can't do this to me!
You made it back, driver. All in one piece.
No, I
it
did
looks
this
like.
stuff!
No
I
sign
drove
of
into the
Linda's energy
thing!
signature anywhere in that car.
You're free.
Well, why am I still here?
Maintained its link to you. Fascinating. We'll never know how far the remnant's obsessions wormed into your head, but you should be safe from it getting any worse. In theory.
Oh, great.
Anyway, all that sounds like a young scientist game. It's not for me anymore. Francis, you decide what to do from here. You can carry the torch and continue the research, or get out of this cursed place and find your own way. It's your decision. And driver, you're free now.
Very comforting.
You can do what you want from here.
But if you'll allow an old woman one last hope, stay here with Francis. There's so many more stories for the zone to tell.
Whoa. Don't do that.
Francis. The helm is yours.
Wait, I don't know if I can do this alone.
You're not alone. You've got clear eyes, ears open to the impossible, and the driver. Dr. Cook. Driver. It's been a pleasure. This is Dr. Ophelia Turner. Signing off.
Abby? Abby! Really? Well, driver, if you don't mind sticking around with me, Abby was right. There's still so much of the zone that we still don't know about. But with your help, we can tell those stories.
Nope, I'm out of here. So that was Pacific Drive. If you're still here, thanks, I guess. So what was this all about? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. It's not really a review or a guide. It's kind of just my experience with the game, I guess. It's like Ross's game dungeon with worse writing. Hopefully that'll improve with time, though. I guess I was just trying to figure out how to make a video. Will there be more? Hopefully. I already have a couple more like this planned. This was a modern game set somewhat in the past, and the next one's going to be an older game set somewhat in the future. I think I would also like to live stream when I gather footage for these games, but I'm a little undecided if I want to do that on here or on Twitch. I feel like it would be a lot easier just to do it on here, but then there's a lot of integration stuff that only works with Twitch. Why don't you let me know down in the comments where you would prefer to watch me live? And let me know if you have any recommendations for games I should cover. And definitely subscribe so you get updates. I've been Slick, and I'll see you around.